Hello, 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 and welcome, my Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your soulmate contract read for March 2020, or timeless, whenever you come across it, is when you are supposed to watch it. I am your reader. Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, and Virgo sun sign. Yay! Hello, my Virgos, my virgins. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's get down to business. If you are new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Comment in the box below, because I am a professional intuitive. This is how I am making my money, and with everybody locked up because of coronavirus, I am glad to be working from the comfort of my dining room. Yes, witch! So let's have some fun. These readings are some of the most fun ones that I do. The soulmate reads, but let's say, get this out of the way, this is a general read, right? If you want really specific, contact me. I do readings over Facebook Messenger and Skype and over the telephone. Yes, I have a landline, can you imagine? Otherwise, because it's a general read, take what resonates, leave what does not, and check your other signs. That's why I try and keep these informative and entertaining so you can watch the whole thing. And then checking your other signs, because sometimes you get different aspects of it, particularly because we are going to be looking at not just any old soulmate contract, because you have so many of them. See, that we're under a lot of odd information about soulmate contracts, that soulmates and twin flames are thought of as the same thing. They are not the same thing. They are both soul contracts, but the bottom line of each is very different. Soulmate contracts, you help each other heal, right? In a one-on-one contract kind of way. Very second chakra, umbilical energy back and forth, right? But do you only have one? No, of course not. My mom and I are soulmates. We help each other heal. We have since before I was born, practically. So, you know, keep that in mind. That's the idea. Your twin flame's totally different. I'm doing those spreads next, right? After I finish these. But these in particular are what I call the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual, satisfying soulmate contracts, the ones that we've been working on for thousands of years. I mean, how many lifetimes, considering psychology just came into the picture about, 200, 300 years ago, right? The idea of codependent and abusive relationships and neglectful relationships and all that kind of stuff, relatively new to the human timeline. So now that we've got a little bit more of a grip on that, helping each other heal in these romantic sexual contracts is getting easier, I don't know, but definitely more information available so we can pick up speed in that healing of each other. And by the way, that contributes to the well-being of all of life, not just human life on planet Earth. And can't the planet use more of that healing love? Yeah, right? So soulmate contracts in particular are necessary for the unfolding of the divine plan, heaven on earth, whatever you want to call it, the anchoring of fifth dimensional consciousness, unity consciousness. Pick your wording for it. It's all the same thing. So that's what these spreads are for, to help the watcher or the cross watcher get a little clarity about where they are in all of this, whether they're with somebody or haven't met them yet. Chances are, if you have a strong desire for one, it's scripted for you, right? Because there are people who really could not care less. So keeping that in mind, I find that to be a touch of intuition. If it's something that you really want and you've been dreaming for, like me, and you've probably been through a shit ton of twin flame contracts, we'll get to those at another time, then maybe there's something in this spread today that can give you a clue, a tip, a hint as to what's going on. We are going to be looking at them like contracts, though, with party number 1 and party number 2. Party number 1 we will call Divine Feminine. Number 2, Divine Masculine. Has nothing to do with bodily gender. Has to do more with energetic dynamic, yin and yang, I prefer. But, you know, this is YouTube, so we're going to say Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. So keep that in mind as we go. You might relate to both sides of the table, the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, because we have both within us at all times. But use your intuition, see how it feels in your body, right? We're earth signs. A lot of times our intuition manifests as as something in the solar plexus, or in the deeper belly, right in the intestines. We're ruled by the intestines, so second chakra, which is very soulmate oriented anyway, right? So pay attention to that as we go, and please remember to breathe. The more that you are consciously breathing throughout this reading, me too as well, I should say, the more in the present moment, the more grounded we are, and the more guidance and grace can come through on both ends, not just through me but through you too. Cool. Let's do this. We're going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype deck. 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine, one for the Divine Masculine. All the cards that I read are in the description box at the very, very bottom. And go have a look, because there's a lot of other cool stuff in my description box. I am truly a Virgo, and that I gave you lots of cool, interesting stuff to explore. Great. Let's do this. Nice deep breath, please. And we're off to the races. My collective divine pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine and one for the Divine Masculine, in this Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, romantic, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract for March 2020, or timeless, please. One for the Divine Feminine first, please. Ladies first. There she is. And one for the Divine Masculine, please. Thank you very much. Now, I say ladies first. That's just how I was raised. But these could be 2 men, 2 women. It doesn't matter the bodily gender at all, right? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Cool. Before I flip these cards, archetypes are tricky, because they have both shadow and light, lead and gold, toxicity and healing in them. So written on the cards, they're called shadow and light. So the shadow is supposed to be triggery. It's supposed to make you a little like, right? Because that's what you are helping each other heal, both within yourself and within the other. Even if you haven't met yet, the soul contract is in place. You're already beginning to heal that within each other energetically. So the light is what you're shooting for, right? So we all have a little shadow, some of us a lot of shadow. It depends on, where we've been in this life and in others. But they're soul lessons and contracted, right? When we were chosen to play the names in these bodies, the roles, our souls were chosen to do this. We kind of knew all this stuff coming in, but we forgot it. So this is like a lovely little reminder. So let's have a look. Who's our happy soulmate couple? Oh, well, the Visionary, the creative family of archetypes, and the Gossip creative family archetype. Now, being that they are both the creative family, there's probably a very symbiotic relationship that even if you haven't met yet, you're gonna kind of click early on, right? It's that thing about soulmates. There are always little bumps in the road in soulmate contracts, but they tend to iron themselves out. As a matter of fact, there are 2 videos in the description box, one by me, one by Matt Kahn, explaining the differences between twin flame soulmate and, in my case, true lover, which is kind of the 5th dimensional expression of this. Once we're fully grounded there, we're working towards it, right? Go have a look at those, because the creativity between these 2 can be great. And you can think of the Visionaries, oh, how beautiful, and the Gossip is, oh, how toxic. But as dark as the shadow is as bright as the light, and as bright as the light is as dark as the shadow. So, don't get it twisted. They are neutral. So let me read you this Divine Feminine Visionary, right? Shadow attribute, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable, which, is different than translating your vision in a way that somebody can hear it, right? Like, trust me, I'm a visionary. Like, I see things, and even it takes me a day or 2 sometimes to put it into words. I know, it seems impossible. I'm so verbal. But it's different than completely truncating the vision, dumbing it down so that it's more palatable to people, or just completely ruining it altogether. So moving into the light attribute here, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. Totally there. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. So whether I gain from this or not, this is what I see. This is what I sense is coming, right? And it need not always so be clairvoyant, right? You can just get a sense of something, have a vision of something. It doesn't mean that, you see it with your eyes open or closed. It's just the sense that you get. So a willingness to proclaim that no matter what anybody thinks, or if there's any personal gain involved. Keep in mind, many of us were tortured in other lives for that. So in this life, you get to do it, right? Because we have lawyers now. And the Gossip archetype, I know the shadow part of it makes us all a little ill, yet we'll all watch celebrity gossip. Well, not all of us. Thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information, betraying confidences. You know, I'm not allowed to get away with that at all. I used to gossip, you know, like celebrity stuff, even amongst friends. We'd have lunch, but it's just so toxic, I can't even do it anymore. But the light attribute awakens considerations for the feelings of others, honoring trust. That a golden gossip, if you will, one who has alchemized the lead to the gold, can make a brilliant counselor. They can draw the truth out of people. And then it goes from gossip to confession, right? Like the right of confession, because it's boundaried, it's honorable, it has confidentiality, right? There's no betrayal. It's honoring trust within each other instead of passing it along. So you can see the shadow and the light of both of these, because if the visionary has something really, really brilliant that they're just not ready to release, can they trust the gossip? If it's in the light, absolutely so. Cool. So it's nice to have two creative family archetypes together. If you're not sure which one you are, don't worry. We've got the Daughters of the Moon Tarot. We're going to clarify the Divine Feminine with that, and we're going to clarify the Divine Masculine with the Mythic Tarot. We're going to do the same spread for each, the element spread, fire, earth, air, water, spirit, and I will call out the positions as I go, but I'm going to bless and shuffle both decks first and then draw the cards. You'll see, it's cool. I like doing it this way. Nice deep breath, please. Oh my goddesses sacred, please. Element spread, top 5 cards for this Divine Feminine Visionary archetype in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Sexual, intimate, romantic, soulmate contract for March 2020, please. Top 5 cards. Fire, what does she want? Earth, what does she have? Air, what does she think? Water, what does she feel? And spirit, what is the voice or the point of view of her soul? Clean cut, please. Clean cut. Whoa, that was not a clean cut, but that one wanted out. Maiden, Mother, Crone. With round cards, sometimes it does that. Maiden, Mother, Crone. That's funny. One bent down and the other one slid out. That's tarot for you. Oracle cards don't do that, but then again, they're usually not round. We're going to do the same with the Divine Masculine, right? With the Mythic Tarot, Juliet Sharman Burke's deck. Breathe. My gods, please. The collective Divine Masculine energy of the universe. Top 5 cards, element spread, please. For this Divine Masculine Gossip archetype in this Virgo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Sexual, intimate, romantic, soulmate contract for March 2020 or timeless, please. Fire, what does he want? Air, earth, what does he have? Air, what does he think? Water, what does he feel? Spirit, what is the voice or point of view of his soul, please, my gods? Son, Father, Sage, Son, Father, Sage. Let's rock and roll. See, this is what I mean by pulling 2 at once. Ready? Hey. Element of fire. What do they want? What does the Divine Feminine want? What does the Divine Masculine want? Well, this is very interesting. I'll save that. What the Divine Feminine wants is the Empress card. Something really abundant and satisfying and fulfilling physically and at least emotionally, right? It's that Divine Feminine energy. I really find this to be true, that the Empress is the conglomeration or the melding or merging or amalgamation of all of the queens in the court cards, right? So air, fire, water, earth would make the Spirit Queen or the Empress. But this is a very strong Venus influence, right? Even in the Rider-Waite Tarot, you see the symbols of Venus all over that card. So definitely something loving here, but that visionary, let me put that down, the visionary is eventually going to want to what? Give birth, which Mawu on the back of the elephant here is literally giving birth. The baby is coming out of her, right? So the vision, she wants to manifest this, so she's pretty clear about what it is that she wants, right? She has this vision of the relationship that she wants, whether she sees it as a soulmate or not, but is really ready to not just labor this, not just conceive it and labor about it and gestate with it, but to bring it forth into physical form, hence the earth element of the Empress, so strong in this card with that elephant totemic energy. And what I find very interesting, I kind of laughed when I saw what the Divine Masculine wants, is the Four of Cups, which is not technically called gossip, but in this picture, Psyche, bride of the god Eros, god of love, son of Aphrodite and Ares, these are her sisters sort of whispering in her ear, allowing her to go into the Four of Cups, sort of emotional discontent, right? It's like, well, it's stable. I'm bored, right? There's so much. I really think that people who are really into the whole soulmate journey in this way, particularly the romantic sexual one, to really read the myth, well, Cupid and Psyche, I call it Eros and Psyche. I tend to lean more toward the Greeks than the Romans, even in the names of the gods. So there's something here. I mean, literally, I don't know if you can see, but they're like whispering, and you hear saying, "Are you sure? You've never?" Because she hadn't seen his face yet, even though they were married. I know, a horrible idea, horrible marriage, but that's a god for you, right? Because he was not ready to be seen, and she was not ready to see him, and yet the love they had, well, he got pricked by one of his golden arrows. Read the myth, just easier than me doing it here. But of course, then when you have doubts in your mind, right? Doubts aren't just thought-oriented. You can feel doubt. Doubt is an emotion as well. So feeling a touch of that in here. Now, why would somebody want that? Would want to sort of clarify that, would want to bring something else in, more clarity to move from that 4. Now, the next would be the 5, which would be emotional upset, emotional change, but certainly in the element of fire there might be a desire for communication and confession, getting something off someone's chest that has been sitting idle, right? So perhaps these two don't know each other, or maybe they do. I would feel like this Divine Masculine Gossip archetype wants to communicate something a bit more emotionally, where this Divine Feminine really wants to bring it into form. What do they have? What is the element of earth that will help them get what they want, right? Like the waxen wick of a candle that burns the flame, that fuels the flame, I should say, of that first position. Okay. For the Divine Feminine, we have got the card of conflict, the 4 of flames. Now, it's flames, not wands in this deck, just to keep it elementally aligned. 2 archers, right, pointing the arrows at each other, but only 1 dragon. So there's 1 conflict that's fueling both sides of this. Now, that conflict could be something in the physical form, that maybe she's with somebody already, or maybe these two have tried it before and there's crap in the past that she feels conflicted. If this is the Virgo, then that really would make sense in the Earth position, because there's this feeling of, I don't know, I want to, but, right? It's like 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. Or there is literally a situation in their lives right now that is so in conflict that it might be inspiring her to have this vision of what it is that she really wants. There's nothing like a conflict to bring us closer into what we really want, right? Because particularly if it is 1 foot on the gas, I really want it, but I'm afraid this and this and this will happen. Gas brake. It's a very herky-jerky ride. It can bring clarity to the deeper vision of what it is that we really want, which I think our deepest vision of it is in alignment with the divine plan, calling us forward, even though it may not manifest exactly the same way. Now remember, she's got a major arcana card in her position of fire. He's got a major arcana card, the sun, the god Apollo, in the element of earth. So he's really got going on his side some clarity here, right? The sun dispelling the clouds, banishing the shadows, bringing things out into light. So there is something perhaps honorable, high vibrational, and it is true. I mean, you hear it ad nauseum that the sun kind of clarifies and brightens any other card in the spread. We'll say that for at least his side of things. Not that he can't bring light to the divine feminine here, but that hopefully he's on some kind of healing path. Apollo is the god not just of vision and the arts and the sun, but the god of healing, just like how the sun can be very healing. Too much of it, though, it burns. So when we're dealing with Apollo in a romantic context, he wasn't really known for his romance. He was known for his beauty, but he was such an achiever and an overachiever, he never really got the love part of it down right. So there might be so much yang energy going on here for this divine masculine, yin being more the moon, the divine feminine, that he's too busy, right? And that could be part of the conflict that she's feeling too if they do know each other. And I could see where that could lead him to some emotional dissatisfaction there, to be able to shed some light on that for himself. He might be a little out of balance in terms of work, particularly if he's using work to sublimate these feelings of discontent that he has where he is. Very, very possible. And that goes on a lot in this world and has been for thousands of years. That's not new, right? Whether you're working in a corporation or out in the fields, right? So what do they think about this? What's the element of air? What do we got here? Yeah, this divine feminine has been through it. The card of oppression, which is one of the two devil cards in this deck, this author Fiona Morgan has a couple of cards split into two because the meanings are so different. I really appreciate that artistically. So with this card of conflict, it would make sense that's what she's dealing with in the element of earth, because on her mind is the card of oppression, right? That she's being weighed down by something, right? Again, if you can't really see the card, it's a woman who's buried under rocks, but the rocks are faces of people, right? So this can be people from the past, people who have betrayed or hurt, abused, or codepended upon her. It can also be the toxicity of the well-meaning, you know, people who love you so much, but they kind of infect you with their own fear of their own stories. But like the chains around the neck of the little demonettes in the Rider-Waite version of the Devil card, she could one at a time remove these rocks. Will she? Will she walk away? Will she liberate herself from her own oppression? Considering it's in her mind, it's not so much like that Nine of Swords, that overthinking keeping you up at night, or that Eight of Swords, you know, bound and blindfolded to a belief system. This is more about a soul thing that she's going through now. She's probably in a place of a lot of mental healing, may not be ready to act on this, may very much want to, I kind of get that, but it might be that her vision of it is so ideal right now as a result of what she's been through. She's still carrying some oppression. Maybe she just doesn't want to be tied down or oppressed by anybody because that has happened before. Yeah, if you've ever had to wait for somebody to make up their mind, right, in a relationship, it just sucks. You feel like prisoner. You want them so much, but it's like, I don't know what to do. That might be sort of what's going on here with this divine masculine gossip. So what's in his mind? Interesting. The King of Wands, the Aries card. So what's on his mind is initiation, beginning, right? The first sign of the zodiac. Now, could this be an Aries person? Possibly, but in the mental field, it really is about initiatory thought. Cardinal creative fire. Creative fire is Aries, first sign of the zodiac. So perhaps something playful, but because it's the King of Wands, really wants some rulership. Now, I will say the Aries energy as the King of Wands could lead itself to oppressing somebody, particularly if it is selfish. Now, look, there are different varieties of selfish. There's a variety of it that I think is essential, called higher selfish, right? Taking care of yourself, right? Loving yourself, respecting yourself, boundaries. No one can create your boundaries for you but you. I mean, unless you're incarcerated, then plenty of people will create boundaries of what you can and can't do. But if this is about introspection, right? Healing of the mind, working on his own belief system, his own thoughts, clearing all of that stuff up, then blessed be. Not really getting that completely, but certainly might be being a little selfish, looking out for number one here. And I don't know that she's up for that right now, right? Not with that oppression card. I think it feels like she would rather kind of keep. She keeps her visions to herself. I just got Stevie Nicks in my head. Thank you, Stevie. Ascended Master Stevie, except she's still in the body. Right? Let's see what's going on emotionally. What's going on for them in the element of water? Okay. Third major arcana card for our Divine Feminine. She's got the Empress. She's got the Devil / Oppression. Here she's got the Hermit. So emotionally, she's feeling her own right now. She might be feeling a little alone. I don't know about lonely, because here's the thing about the Hermit. The Hermit is not someone in exile. The Hermit is someone who goes willingly to the top of the mountain. In this case, she's riding over Stonehenge on a gray horse. To see things differently, right? To restore, to replenish, to realign the spirit, the creativity. How many times do visionaries and artists need to pull back in order to recharge their own batteries? Particularly if she wants to take this oppression on her mind in some way, translate that creatively. Now, she might, again, have a vision in her mind that might be very idealistic, perhaps unrealistic, but with this going on emotionally, she might be doing it just to heal her own heart, her own soul. So it's fine if she feels alone, because it's often there are certain doors we can only go through alone. There are certain things we can only heal alone. No matter who else may be involved in it, like forgiveness is a decision we have to make if we're going to do that ourselves, another, a situation, what have you. But to get that altitude, to see it from a higher place, sometimes we can only take those journeys alone. What's he going on emotionally? His second major arcana card, the Wheel of Fortune. That time is passing, right? That fate and destiny are kind of calling him forward emotionally. This feeling of, all right, I'm at this place in my life. So yeah, his mind might be very selfish in a good way. If the emotions are really, you know what, it's time. It's time for me to make that step. It's time for me, maybe, I don't like the word settle down. Like settle down sounds like settle for. No, I'm not settling. Personally, as a Virgo, fuck that noise. I am not settling. Mind you, my standards are pretty high, but you know, be single, have a job, have a home. You're not living with me in the first year. Did that in my first marriage, but I was 22, right? Then married to a guy, don't freak. Yes, I'm gay, don't freak, right? So with that King of Wands there and that Wheel of Fortune, he may very well be on an initiatory path, one of transforming fate into destiny. Fate is what you're handed. Destiny is what you do with it if you take the hero's journey. He may be very much thinking about initiating something with this Divine Feminine. If they have not met, if they have not met, then sort of thinking about it in terms of his life, of what he wants. And I feel like they have that in common. They're both getting clarity for where they are, if they have not met, about what they really want in a relationship, because he wants to kind of clear up this Four of Cups, and she really wants to bring it into form, but not yet. She's not ready yet, not emotionally, not with the Hermit there. A lot of self-love available there. To give yourself the love that only you can give yourself is how you become the mate to your own soul. Play with that. What does it mean to be a soulmate? Well, first, it means to be in partnership with your soul, to give yourself the love that only you can give. Then you become a soulmate. Then the universe can match you up with that. Even though we have soulmates throughout our lives, like I said, my mom's one of my soulmates, right? Let's keep plowing along here. Our last card down would be that card of the soul, Spirit. What is the point of view or the voice of the soul? Okay, well, the Two of Pentacles, balance, right? So her soul is essentially saying, honey, get into balance here. And a Two of Pentacles, balance. Really balance your body with your mind. Free yourself from these wounds of oppression that are haunting your mind, so that you can go forward with a clear mind and a healthy body with balanced emotions. Now, there is something there about the Bull Leapers. I love this card. I love this deck so much. Daughters of the Moon, Fiona Morgan. These are the Bull Leapers, these women. I believe this is the forerunner to the running of the bulls in Pamplona in Spain. I'm not sure of that. I think I remember reading that. where these women would get into a ring with live bulls, run towards them, grab them by the horns, which might be where grab the bull by the horns came from, and flipping over them, right? Like acrobatics. She might be getting ready to do exactly that, to say, all right, I'm healing this. The soul is saying, get your balance, girl, because it's coming. And it's going to come at you like a bull. So are you ready to grab it and flip, right? To take the leap. Make sure that everything is as centered as can be in your life physically, right? Like make sure your bills are paid, your laundry's done, your hair is done. You get the idea. So that when this happens, it's not just an ace of a potential, it's actually getting ready to start building momentum. And he's got the Six of Wands, the voice of the soul, victory. So for him to overcome here is really important. Six of Wands, so often called the victory card, but one that took effort, not just like you dropped a house on their sister and got the shoes. It's like, that's not really a victory. That doesn't make you a hero. You were just in the right place at the right time. Unless you're the witch under the house. And I never did like that story because of that. It's her sister's shoes. Give them back, you little bitch. I am a witch. I am, of course, going to take the green-faced side of things. So, you know, for the gossip to have victory perhaps over their own desire to say things, to share things, to break confidences, rather to honor trust within themselves, trust within their own confidences there, feels like that's a part of it, and that it's time, but has his own stuff to overcome, maybe whatever is leaning to this emotional dissatisfaction. Has he stayed in a situation too long? Look, if you can't stand the other person's voice or how they breathe, you're done. Like, don't wait any longer. It's just going to get harder. So, Divine Masculine, if you're hearing that, if you're watching this, watch your gossip, right? Overcome where you are. Your soul is saying it's time, and so are your deeper emotions. Whatever you're in has, oh, I get it. Whatever you're in has run its course emotionally, and hence your dissatisfaction. But you've got this positivity, this healing ability, that you have to be selfish right now, but be selfish, higher selfish, rather than manipulative, horrible, narcissistic selfish. Yeah? Okay. Those are our two spreads there. What we're going to do now is clarify with 5 other cards, 2 of which are the Healing with the Angels Oracle card, one for each, the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine. That'll go right in the center. And if you are new to my readings, for the larger extended spreads, I do take a picture and put it up at the end. That's why I work with a video editor separate from what's on YouTube, so that I can really get in there and get my own creativity going. Cool. Nice deep breath. Let's ask the angels. My angels, please. 2 cards, one for the Divine Feminine Visionary, one for the Divine Masculine Gossip in this Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, satisfying, sexual, intimate, romantic, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, soulmate contract for March 2020, or timeless, whenever they are supposed to watch it, please. My angels, one for this Divine Feminine Visionary, particularly because these are the Healing with the Angels Oracle. What angel is walking with her to help her heal her mind, right? Well, her mind and her earth. She's got oppression and conflict there. Her fire and her water are actually pretty balanced. The Empress and the wise one, the hermit, or the mother and the crone. So there's some symbiosis there, but getting all of this in balance feels very, very tricky, please. So please, for this Divine Feminine, 1 card for her and 1 card for him. He's got that emotional dissatisfaction, but, you know, the card of the Sun, Apollo, the healing god, the Wheel of Fortune, it's time, the King of Wands, thinking about doing something for himself and achieving victory, says the soul. So please, my angels, what healing angel walks with him? Okay. Now, remember, she has got this vision, right? This vision of what she wants, the Empress card, and the healing angel is the child. Now, of course, being that a baby is being born, it's an obvious literal interpretation to say that she wants to have a baby, that she's looking for somebody to want to father a child, right? Father, mother, again, we're talking gender here, where gender is way more fluid depending on who's watching this. But remember, this is a visionary. This could be a creative child, right? This could be that she is rebirthing herself in some ways. Now, rebirthing is actually a healing process involving holotropic breath. I think that's the right way to say holotropic. I forget if it's pH or not, holotrophic, or whatever. But also this can speak of the inner child, right? Inner child work, so essential on the path of true love, whether you're dealing with twin flame, soulmate, your parents, a lover, a friend, because that child within us, Matt Kahn, blessed be Matt Kahn, he's the one who gave me the image through his videos, really. His YouTube channel is unbelievably helpful. To see your heart chakra as the inner child and to talk to it, right? And to give it the love. So, love yourself. You gotta love yourself, because you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? Can I get an amen? Now, blessed be Saint RuPaul, but they never really tell you how to do it, right? And you can read books on it. The Lord knows there are plenty of them. I would start with You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, because she sort of did that in the 80s for me. But I love that idea of talking to your heart chakra, not the heart to the left, the heart in the center, the anahata, unstuck in the Sanskrit, right? So when the child gets stuck, to talk to it, to let it cry, to let it rage, right? So that it can find its courage. So maybe giving birth to herself, finding her innocence, finding her safety, particularly if she has been oppressed, abused, neglected, or codependent upon. So it really feels like she's in a place of healing right now. There could maybe be some flirtation between these two, but this could very much be irresistible force, immovable object, right? She's like, yeah, this is great and all, but I'm not ready, right? You want to, let's be friends. Let's start that way. But let's see what he's got. He's got the card of music. Now, not my favorite card in this deck. It has so many different interpretations for me at this point. Mercury is still, it's direct, but it's still in its shadow, so bear with me. Virgos, we can't talk good. The thoughts are there, it's getting them out, right? Genius just doesn't sound like it. To me, this card means that where he is right now in terms of his healing, it's like a song. It has a beginning, a middle, and end, right? It's got a tempo, it's got a crescendo, it's got some verses and a bridge and a chorus, right? But that it has a beginning, middle, and end. That he is maybe kind of looking at the end of his days of being single and perhaps being a gossip. But also if there is any musical quality here, and this is maybe a card of confirmation for some of you watching this for this divine masculine, that he is a musician. Again, not talking gender here, just have to stick with that, that pronoun language for these readings. I really do get the feeling, though, that there's something musical about this person. Like, if they're not musicians, then music is such a big part of their lives. I mean, I hear music in my head, not all day long, but I've learned to pay attention either to the tone of the music playing in my head or the lyrics, that they might, like, if the lyrics don't make sense, like if it's Walking on Sunshine when I'm not walking on sunshine, I'm like, what the hell does that mean, right? So then I have to look at the words. I used to think maybe you love me. Now I know that it's true. Like, you know, so there's something musical going on here for sure. But definitely take your time, divine masculine here. That Wheel of Fortune does say this is scripted. This is written in the divine plan. The two of you are going to come together and help each other heal. And in some sexual, intimate, romantic way, whether it's for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Like, you can have a soulmate come in and help heal your heart in preparation for someone, right? That would be a reason. In preparation for a relationship that is perhaps for a season, 3 months, but, you know, longer than that. It can be way longer than that. Or a lifetime, sort of like a life mate. And none of that is guaranteed. We never know what that is at the beginning of things. No one gets guarantees that way. So interesting. The children, the healing angel of children and the healing angel of music. Let's see what the higher selves have to say about this with, I love this deck, the Whispers of Love Oracle. So good. Comes right out sometimes. It just says, this is what you gotta do. I dig it. So, I dig it big. Breathe. One more. the higher selves of all involved, perhaps mine included, because I am a Virgo. One for the, yeah, I can relate to her a bit. Just more than a bit. Please, the higher selves of all involved, 2 cards, one for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine in this Virgo collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, romantic, intimate, sexual, satisfying, soulmate contract for March 2020 or timeless. Please, one for our divine feminine visionary and one for our divine masculine, no, one for our divine masculine gossip archetype. Please, higher selves of all involved. There we go. When 2 cards stick together, I don't want to have to guess. That's why I pray on these cards. P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y. So what she got? I'm sorry. If you've been watching my channel, you know there are certain cards in this deck that crack me up, right? I'll do the impersonation. Turn on your heart light, let it shine wherever you go. Turn on your heart light. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love, which is certainly for that child. Right? To remember, not only have you loved before, that your heart will love again. Yeah, she's got some mental oppression going on. Maybe that repetitive thought of how could they, why did they, trying to figure it out. Those are the chains that bind, right? They're horrible. I get it. I've been there. I might still be there from this last twin flame I had to get rid of. Oh my God, such a liar, pants on fire. Really good gaslighter. But now I don't know that I'll ever really be gaslit again, right? That's a twin flame. You learn things from twin flame relationships that burn like fuck, but they transform you for the better, right? Like a cookie dough into cookie. Although I got nothing against cookie dough, honey. I would eat a log of that shit right now. Turn on your heart light. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love, right? To get her heart open, right? Turn on that light within your heart. Because at the core of the child of our hearts is the divine child, are the seeds of the higher self within the body, the truth of who we are. Just saying. That's what soulmate contracts are for. The awakening of that which we truly are, the path of true love. What's he got? Miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. I have a feeling that if these two know each other, he might have been a little narcissistic, and now the situation he finds himself in, it's what he wants is to move on from that 4 of Cups. A little bland, a little boring, a little blah. I'll tell you one thing. This one ain't boring. This one ain't bland. This one ain't blah. Not with 3 major arcana cards. Though she is in conflict right now, she's got her own visionary process going on. And with that hermit in the emotional field, he's going to have to prove himself, but he's got miracles and blessings going on his side. But can he parlay them into something that is happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise? Well, I'm going to say, with the Wheel of Fortune in his emotional field there, that it's written, that it's scripted, but how long it takes might be up to whether he goes willingly or if the gods have to drag him by the short hairs forward, which happens, right? Very interesting spread, but one more card, and what is it, those of you who have been following my channel? A Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck card, so good. Now, it does not matter if you are the divine feminine visionary or the divine masculine gossip. If you use this mantra, it will help heal you and it will help the other, whether you even know who you are or not. Will it bring you together faster? I gotta tell you, with soulmate contracts and the way the quantum field fluctuates from moment to moment, if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. When is a question of time versus intensity. Do you want... If it's a question of how much you have to heal before the two of you meet, then you could go very, very slow. I always get that idea. I got this from Matt Kahn. It's like a Band-Aid. Do you want to like hair by hair by hair? That's doing it by time. Or do you want to do it through intensity, right? So let's ask the Ascended Masters of Soulmate Contracts. Do you know the Ascended Masters are like a law firm, right? Or like a pantheon of gods, right? Like they all have their specialties. So catch this. Ready? Breathe. My Ascended Masters of Soulmate Contracts, they exist. Please, one card in clarity for this divine feminine visionary and this divine masculine gossip in this Virgo collective sun, moon, rising, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, sexual, intimate, romantic soulmate contract for March 2020 or timeless, whether they know each other or not, whether they have met, whether they have separated and are coming back together, or they are together, please, what is the perfect, most truly helpful, and I mean in a Course in Miracles kind of truly helpful way, a truly helpful mantra, a healing mantra for these two in this soulmate contract, this Virgo collective, please. Ascended Masters, thank you. Took a while to get that one out. I don't know if that was me or them. Now, one side of the card is the mantra, the other the name of the mantra. Otherwise, there's nothing else written on these cards, so I'm going to use the name of the mantra to look it up in the bookie book. I love calling it the bookie book because it's cute and it's pink. It's a bookie book. I adore Matt Kahn. Never met him. Not getting any money from Hay House or him to use this or promote it. I just think they're wonderful, and I highly, highly, highly recommend them. They've been very helpful in my own daily spiritual practice as well. So ready? Here we go, my Virgs. Inspiring others. This one has not come up in a while. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Inspiring others. I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Now, there's nothing in the world like that for a Virgo. When someone says to a Virgo, oh, like, I love to cook. I don't want to be a chef. I don't want to train. I took the knowledge my mother has taught me. I'm driving up to Saratoga to see them the beginning of next week. She's like, oh, I've got a new recipe for this and that and this and that. I'm like, oh, I can't wait, right? But when I cook for somebody, it's not even what they say. It's that, like that inspires me. It's like, wait till I make it next time, right? So inspiring others, I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Let me read it from Ye Old Bookie Book. Inspiring others, I help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts. Don't you think I could do voiceover work? If anybody knows anybody, send them my way. Or send me to them. Send them this video. When others are inspired, you allow them to take center stage and step into a greater acknowledgement of their personal power. Makes sense? When others are made to feel useful, they are likely to embrace more courageous decisions as their self-worth increases. Now remember, we've got two creative archetypes here, the visionary and the gossip. So if they can, just even like gently compliment each other, you're going to see a big change in this contract, even if they're just acquaintances. Imagine the perfection of not having to do everything by yourself. Oh, I imagine that every day, being self-employed. Infusing others with a greater sense of purpose just by asking for their help. It's not a matter of feeling weak or being incapable. Instead, it's about realizing the gift of inspiration you possess simply by inviting others to be a part of your day. So whether you are the divine masculine or the divine feminine here, if you've already met, if you come across, or it might just be a good idea in general to just do this to everyone you meet, even if it's silently, like total strangers. You don't necessarily want to do that. That's creepy. Sometimes it's absolute. Well, like the baristas at Starbucks, I make them laugh. I'm always like, thank you so much. You're so friendly. I'm just complimenting people, right? So this mantra is ideal for increasing intimacy in relationships, which then the divine masculine is going to have to really inspire, right? Is going to really have to inspire this divine feminine for where she is right now. Resolving martyrdom for the divine feminine to resolve her own martyrdom here because you've been through hell. Look, we've all been to hell and back. Chances are, if you're on a soulmate path at this point, twin flame soulmate, path of true love, whatever you want to call it, you've already been to hell and back a few times, right? Have the burnt split ends to show for it, my Virgs. But I had to make the choice. Do I want to be a martyr or do I want to be a hedonist? Because a hedonist can take the same lead that the martyr can, but turn it into a love and a passion for life. And communicating your needs, the last part of this, which may very well be helpful for both of them to be that kind of open and honest. Let's give you the overview. We'll magic clap the big picture, so to speak. If you're new, this will be fun for you. Take a nice deep breath. Magic clap. We've got the divine feminine visionary archetype in the shadow, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. The light attribute, capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And I do feel like that light side is in her more dominant than the shadow because of that card of the Empress in her fire position, that what she wants, her creativity, really does want to bring her vision into physical form, particularly if it's in terms of a romantic, sexual, intimate relationship. Though right now, her element of earth, she is in conflict. Maybe it is a conflict. Maybe she does not trust this divine masculine if she knows him, and she might not trust divine masculines in general, right? That conflict of wanting that touch, but not willing to sell her soul or be lied to or betrayed. And that certainly would show in that place of oppression, that card of the devil in the mind. Sort of the repercussions of an unhealthy attachment, an unhealthy relationship that has brought her to be the hermit in the emotional field. However, that does mean she's being introspective. She is recharging her battery. She's most likely giving herself the love that she needs, hopefully, to that inner child, as we see in that children card there at the center. But with that card from in the spirit position, the Two of Pentacles, it's like her soul is saying, get your balance, honey, because he's coming in. Remember, we're not talking bodily gender here. I feel like where we are sociologically on the planet right now, that bears repeating. Not every other sentence, but bears repeating. And with that child card, right, that children card, the healing with the angel oracle of children, something about her innocence, her ability to play, to have fun, needs to be healed here, or is in the process of healing. Maybe that's part of her creative vision. The child archetype has to do with innocence and safety. And if the child does not feel safe, it's hard to feel innocent and therefore to play and enjoy itself and to take risks, right? Even healthy, happy, right? Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise risks. And what is the message from her higher self? Turn on your heart light. Allow yourself in this moment to reflect on a time when you experienced love, just to kind of get that heart chakra moving a little bit. Jumping over to the divine masculine here, we've got the gossip archetype in the shadow. Thrives on the power of passing on private or secret information. And it's that word thrives that kind of connects with that King of Wands there, but we'll get to that. Betraying confidences, which is just never a good idea. Okay, I just got another thing, like also betraying promises just came. Like if this divine masculine has made promises, they might have just been words. He's really got to work on that. The light attribute awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. So, you know, within the lead, see, here's what people don't understand about alchemy. Lead has 3 more atoms than gold on the periodic table. So out of that shadow can come the light, awakening consideration for the feelings of others and honoring trust. Well, I feel like his element of fire here, the Four of Cups, to want the Four of Cups would mean to want to be sort of bored, want to be sort of dissatisfied, a bit meh about the whole thing. And if he's in a turbulent situation, relationship, maybe that is something worth working towards, right? To just sort of be the balance of that four, a place of more emotional rest. But with that card of the sun, what he has, that there is enough positivity, perhaps even a spirituality here with the god Apollo. God of music, by the way, he's got the music card there. God of the arts, the father of the 9 muses. Go watch Xanadu. Great movie if you're into roller skates with leg warmers. But that is a major, major arcana card there, the card of the sun. So he really does have that yang force creativity, but is he using it as a gossip? With the King of Wands in his mental field, yes, this could be very self-occupied, but remember, there is also self-healing, so it does depend on what he does with that card of the sun in his earth position. Is this about healing himself? Is this about enlightening himself? Is this about his creative process? Or is this a narcissistic me kind of mindset? Well, maybe he needs that to get out of this Four of Cups, but with the Wheel of Fortune in his emotional field, he kind of knows time's up, right? Or that it's time for this change, that the Wheel of Fortune is turning, and the fate that he has been dealt, it's time to alchemize it into destiny by taking the hero's journey and being honorable. And I see with that Six of Wands in the position of the Soul saying that though he is not ready to complete his journey, there is certainly a victory, right? So once you get really getting the Golden Fleece is just half of the story. It's then getting back home with it, which ain't so easy if you know the myth. And what is the angel of music there? So maybe there is some practical expression or emotional expression going on there musically, but it's also to say that this is a song that he's going through on the greater album of his life, and maybe it's at the end of one and getting ready to begin another. But again, if there's any kind of musical thing there, that might just be a signal for some of the watchers or cross-watchers here to help them identify who this being is, because it's a healing with the Angel Oracle card. Maybe the music is part of the healing, and keeping in mind, Apollo, the Sun card here, is a god of music and healing, although Apollo tends to be more classical, structured music than Dionysian music, which is more, funk, shake your groove thing. But this is what I love from his higher self: miracles and blessings. Everything has its gift. That even the situation that he's in, that he's a little meh about, a little bored, a little emotionally dissatisfied with, that there are miracles and blessings. There are gifts here that he is going to be able to take with him into this soulmate contract. But part of this is absolutely about inspiring others. Oh, and I just got it. They're creative family archetypes, both of them. Inspiration is huge. So the more that they can help others feel empowered by acknowledging their gifts, the faster they heal, maybe more intensity and less time here, but that they certainly open the pathways for them to come together in a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, satisfying way. Ta-da, my Virgos. Not a bad reading. I don't think they're ready to meet. And if they do know each other, maybe they've tried this before and it hasn't worked out, I would say give them some time. They both seem to be on their own healing path. One seems already involved in something a little ooky. The other out of something ooky. So going to take them a little time to get together. But if they can, empower themselves and each other and maybe everyone else along the way, they'll be able to pick up the momentum that they need to manifest this into form. Right? May the Virgo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their soulmate contracts for March 2020, that they may heal, that they may grow, that they may become the best that they can be, and bring this soulmate contract into being in physical form as a blessing upon all of life, not just for themselves. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because I'm putting out stuff pretty much every day. I am going to be traveling next week, but I'm bringing my tech with me. I may just super chat. I may not bring all the tech to kind of do the edited vids, but we'll see. I got a couple of days until then. Until then, wishing you the very best and the very blessed of your soulmate contracts for March 2020. All of them, not just the romantic, sexual, intimate ones. But for now, my Virgos, I love you guys, my virgins. We should all get together. Virgo honor. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. Hail! Farewell! And blessed, blessed be.